Hey guys, and welcome to another GTNH video. This will probably be a quicker one, not much time has passed. But at the end I'll be doing some kind of review and some of my opinions about this part of the pack that I'm in right now. As you guys might know, I just got to UEV last episode. So yeah, basically I've been doing some kind of stuff around that, but let's go through it. There's not really much to show today, but yeah. Most of the stuff I'll show you guys today is kind of work in progress. So yeah, don't expect too much today. So let's start here with our call room. I built these new two sets. Both of these will be used for the opticals. I have still to set them up, and I actually already crafted every the UEV dynamos and the UEV energy hatches to replace every single hatch with UEV. But I've yet to do that, mostly because I've been a little bit busy with other stuff. So, and this is really not that important right now to upgrade our circuits. There's some other stuff we need to do first. That's mainly why I've been postponing that. And on this side, I don't think I mentioned, but I upgraded the power on these two last time. These are now running lasers. They should be UXV power. And I upgraded this one as well. This is actually running max or max plus 1 power. Yeah, this should be, I'm not sure actually. This should be, okay, this is max power. And I've yet to upgrade these two. I really need to do that, but we have other pressing issues currently. So that's why I'm not really working on that. On this side, yeah, nothing really much to show. Everything is still pumping and going, but yeah, this is draining a lot of energy, especially this floor here. Again, this part here I also need to finish. I haven't really been doing much building lately. As you guys might know, I don't really like or enjoy building, so I've been very lazy with that. So yeah, that's mainly the reason why I really need to finish these parts soon. But yeah, I just came here basically to say that I also need to upgrade this. This is a major bottleneck right now that I need to fix basically. But yeah, no changes in the water line. Regarding the power, this is basically our main issue right now. It's the power. So these turbines I actually upgraded. All of our extreme heat exchangers are now producing the steam into the same P2P. All our three sets are sharing the same input, so I managed to bump this up a little bit by running this one's a little bit faster, but the other ones are a bit slower. So yeah, but we end up gaining some extra power around 30 million. But yeah, unfortunately 30 million is not really enough. And this is mainly my main issue right now, which I'll touch on at the end of the video, just so that we don't really waste much more time with this. But yeah, and these parts, no changes as per usual, I guess. But yeah, most of the chemical reactors here are not really being used anymore. I moved the hydrochloric acid last week, I'm pretty sure, so it's here now alongside our other chemical reactors. But yeah, besides that, not really much changed up here. This is probably one of the worst areas of the base. But this one is pretty bad as well. But yeah, it's still pending the how do you say it? The remodeling. But on this side, nothing new. Plotline, I did upgrade one of these chemical reactors, I don't remember which, but I upgraded them since we are now getting a lot of plotline materials, so that's why. And no changes here. although our Kevlar line was stuck, so I just unstuck it, but it seems like it might have gotten stuck again on something. Really need to check. It's probably one of these ones, or maybe not. Was it this again? Yeah, it's this again. This uses methane, and I'm not really storing methane properly, so I really need to do that. But yeah, and here in our redox line, I actually expanded this a little bit to add these two new machines. This well, basic chemical plant, and we shouldn't have turned this on. I forgot about the sounds. But yeah, this is doing our dragon blood, which I'll rant about this later on. But yeah, we are doing this recipe, and here I have a not so impressive fluid extractor from Twist. This is quite faster than the usual recipe, I must say. This one we are running, but yeah, it's still pretty slow, pretty bad. But yeah, as I've said, I'll rant about this at the end. But yeah, everything else, at least on this side, is pretty much the same. I also upped that buffer. It might still be filling up. Let me just check since I'm here. Yeah, I guess it's still filling up. Since some of the recipes we start doing now require a lot more that kind of resources. But then down here I had the tank for hydrofluoric acid, since I guess this brings me to the space elevator. Since now I've gotten finally the space pumping, which are all turned off, and of course they are all Mark 1. So I got one for carbon monoxide because we actually ran out. I got fluorine, hydrofluoric acid, but I need to run methane again because of the Kevlar line. I didn't really notice that it used so much methane, since I filled up a super tank that I have somewhere there, but it ran out already, so I need to pump more. And yeah, and I also set up our second mining module Mark II, which has been crafted for maybe 2 weeks, 1 week and a half at least. And I added the network switch to split up the computation for both of these. And yeah, I should be producing enough computation in this quantum computer to be able to run both at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, besides that, I got Fusion Mark IV, but again, not really much to say about this. I'll give my thoughts on this at the end of the video. But yeah, then I started finally working on redoing our Nekuda line, which, to be honest, is still work in progress. So this will probably end up being at least some things will be changed for next week's episode. But yeah, so some of the chemical reactors got upgraded to mega chemical reactors. Some of the machines got moved, some quads got made, like this one's here. So I also finally upgraded our neutron activators. But yeah, just to give you guys the quick summary, basically the mega blast furnaces are now down here, or the regular regular blast furnaces are now here. They are both megas. The centrifuge that was here got moved to here. This one was this one here. It's now wait. No, the chemical reactor that was here is now here. The chemical reactor that was here is now this one. And this one here was the chemical reactor that was here. I think that's it. But yeah, mainly, right now I just have the regular Nakuda line done or upgraded. I'm still missing to do the Naquadria, which I think it's the most important one right now to do, and the Enriched as well. Enriched I still haven't really upgraded the neutron activator as well. Really need to do that. But yeah, also another change that I've done was the floss bar. It's now being sent into mainnet and it's being processed in our processing subnet. So yeah, but that's still not something that needs to be upgraded as well, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, all of this stuff still needs to be upgraded, and I already crafted one or two molecular deconstructors. These things, these are the twists, electrolyzers, and centrifuges. So my idea is to at least upgrade these ones because this is very slow. This is a very slow recipe. This will be basically built here to a molecular deconstructor, so it will be much faster. But yeah, that's the main gist of it for our Nakuda line. Again, still work in progress. I also have redone most of the cabling here. The old cable is still going strong because it's still required for some of the machines. But yeah, it's been getting upgraded, everything. Also moved the mega vacuum freezer as well, so it's here. And I've been using a lot of these giant output hatches. My main reason for doing this is that they hold a big amount, and this way I don't really have to do fluid cells for every single fluid, so it's much faster to set up. Whereas in the Platinum line, I did fluid cells for everything, as you guys can see. And yeah, I feel like this took me a little bit longer at least. So yeah, besides that, let's go into our main processing area. No big changes here, I don't think. The main thing that I've done was actually upgrade the coils to infinity here in our mega blast furnace. And I also upgraded the power here and for the vacuum freezer as well. So they are now kind of faster. The vacuum freezer got updated twice. This was UV 256, so now it's UHV 1000. So this is max. Before it was UMV. Then this one got UHV 256. Yeah, this is still slower than the vacuum freezer, which is fine. But yeah, this basically it went from UMV to UXV. So a good upgrade there. I also upgraded our matter fabrication. I still need to move this upstairs. Something that I completely forget to do, to move this stuff upstairs here. But yeah, for now, not really a big issue. So yeah, I'm good for now at least. Also upgraded our quantum computer to be able to handle energies recipes which require more energy, and I also upgraded our at least this part of our backbone to EHV 65,000. I mean, I still need to upgrade this side. I think it's only up to this one. Yeah, I still need to upgrade this side because this side of the base with the advanced assembly lines going, they use a lot. And I think I'll also need to upgrade this one for the circuit assembly lines as well. So yeah, where's the exit? Okay, it's here. Downstairs, let's go downstairs. I kinda had this crafted already, but yeah, I finally placed down our neutronium compressor. I added all the singularities, was able to get the singularity cells, as you guys can see. This was a pain, a big pain. But we got it. So I got two singularity cells right now. I've got one for the redstone and one for the iron. They were the resources we had the most. So it was a very nice upgrade. Machines. Did I add the scavenger? I actually don't remember if I had a scavenger, but if I had not, this is basically just twist sifter. So yeah, the rest is the same. I actually did what I mentioned last time. So our rare metals, these ones here, the palladium and the platinum and so on, are now being processed here as well, which is nice. Unfortunately, I feel like even with 1000 parallels, this just feels slow. But it's much faster than using these ones. And yeah, oh, and another thing that I've done was I actually upgraded to the 16 slots, which gave us the perfect overclocking on the centrifuge, and this is now just absolutely destroys everything. Let's see. I can show you guys here. 65 million Enstone. So let's try this. Just to give you guys an idea, I added this bus here, which I can just grab stuff. And as you guys can see, this just absolutely goes through everything. This is reading twice, by the way. This is reading twice because this network actually does a loop. So yeah, basically we just have half of this amount. But yeah, as you guys can see, this goes pretty damn fast. I didn't really care about the extra parallels. I was more concerned about the perfect overclocking because that's actually huge. The perfect overclocking is this runs UIV power, so it's pretty fast with the perfect overclocking. But yeah, that's mainly it. Working on the Nakuda line right now. Still a bunch of stuff that needs to be done. But yeah, I guess it's time to start renting. If you guys got to this point, great. If not, well, that's IRP, I guess. Anyway, yeah, this is UAV. It's probably it's a I guess it's a fun tier, but it's also the tier which uh, everything just gets exponentially more expensive just for the sake of it. I feel like most of the stuff gets more expensive simply for the sake of it, and that's not fun. And this is probably the part of the pack that I also dislike the most, uh, including the starting. I think I prefer to play the start than to play this part because it's I don't feel it's rewarding at all to play this part of the pack because everything that we need to do takes ages, actual ages to craft. We need ridiculous amounts, and you might say, oh, but UIV, it's also very hard, and UMV is also very hard. When I played the last time, I feel like this part was worse than UIV and UMV with crafting the space time and the other stuff, the other materials I don't really remember. But yeah, I feel like this is way worse. I guess they actually buffed the Dragon Blood a little bit, which is good because before it was cancerous. I'll say it straight up. It was pretty bad. Right now it's a little bit better, but it's still, I'd say, pretty bad. I guess I can start with the Mark IV reactor. The Mark IV reactor in itself, it's not really a big issue. It's not really a big craft. But the recipes that we do here are absolutely horrendous. Well, this is a recipe for 36 millibuckets of hypogen, which, by the way, we need to craft hypogen to get the good coils for our DTPF. And of course, we usually you don't really get the hypogen coils this way. That would be absolutely crazy. But still, what I mean to say is that this is like a quarter of an ingot, and it takes almost 10 minutes to craft. This takes around 7, I think that's 7 minutes to craft half. So to craft a full ingot of hypogen, you would need like 25 minutes, around that. More, around 30 minutes, let's say. Let's say around 30 minutes to get the full ingot. And to get at least one blast furnace, you need 2 stacks of ingots, so I don't really even want to do the map. I guess I can try it. I think this works, so that's 256 at 30 minutes. That's so that's in minutes. So if we want hours, we divide by 60, right? So we get yeah, 64 hours to get enough hypogen to get a single blast furnace of coils. And that's not all. That's not all. Because usually at this point in the game you don't really want to upgrade these little blast furnaces You want to upgrade the big ones. So these ones require like way more coils. I don't really want to do the math, but it's pretty ridiculous. And yeah, I know, I know you can craft it through this way, but at in the beginning of the pack, you can't really do this recipe, right? You need hypogen to do this recipe. And this one also needs infinity. The infinity, it's bad, but I don't feel like it's that bad. It's annoying that it requires so much diamonds. I'll say that. The diamonds are pretty annoying in the infinity recipe. But I don't feel like the infinity in itself, it's that hard. Especially after you get the DTPF, that becomes much easier from what I remember. But yeah, basically we need to get this, and this also, I forgot to mention, this uses, besides the dragon blood, I will get to this in a bit, but this also uses this stuff which I'm not going to try to pronounce. But this is also fusion reactor recipe. This one is much simpler and it takes a lot less time. But unfortunately it also uses infinity, so it makes it even more annoying. And also uses this stuff which is molten quantum. And this molten quantum is annoying as fuck to get because this is an alloy blast recipe, smelter recipe, which of course we do in our mega. Which, by the way, it barely has any bonuses. The amounts are not really that significant, or at least before they didn't really were. I don't really think that was changed, but I'm not sure. And most of this stuff is pretty easy to get, but the time in the energy that it takes, it's I mean it takes 10 minutes to get 10 ingots of this stuff. It's crazy. I don't. I get the energy requirements that I get, but the time I don't really get the time. I don't feel like it needs to take this long. That's my main issue with this. Yeah, that's my main issue with this. It takes too long, and we don't really get. I don't feel we get enough for the time it takes. And regarding the dragon blood is, for me it's even worse. Yeah, the dragon blood is even worse. Basically, I'm using the combs because otherwise I don't think it's really possible to do this even. So yeah, I'm using the combs, I'm using this recipe. And again, this is a UEV recipe, which is fine. I don't really mind it being UEV. But it takes 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to get one drop. And this drop only gives you alpha ingot. And again, this one is a UAV recipe which takes 300 seconds. So yeah, at this point, this is, in my opinion, this is not really a good option to go. The other one which you can go, it's this one, which is a little bit more manageable, although you don't really get the guaranteed blood drop. And the propolis is also, as you guys can see, not really that amazing. Although we also get the propolis from the chemical plant. I guess I can look into doing this as well. But yeah, getting back on track, this requires the 16 ingots of awakened draconium. So we would need to kind of passive this, which I think it's more trouble than it's worth because the molten, this is not really hard to get the dust itself, but the smelting takes a long time, so it's not really good, let's say, to get this. The better way is actually to use this. For me, in my opinion, this is the only actual way, only actual good way to get this, but unfortunately this requires the infinity egg or dragon egg, if by the infinity egg is, it's better, right? But yeah, and this doesn't really require us to smelt this. But unfortunately, this stuff requires blood magic finished, requires Stormcraft finished, and um, Botania finished. Last time what I've did, and I'll say this right now, I might do this as well. Last time what I've done is basically I cheated this thingy and the upgrades to be able to work with this. I cheated everything, so this wouldn't be that painful. And I'll say that right now. I might this again. I might cheat this again because I'm not really doing magic mods, as you guys know. I did kind of a bit of Thaumcraft, but I haven't really touched blood magic, nor I want to, and basically the same for Botania. So yeah, I'll say that right now because otherwise this is not fun. Waiting for I have been running this recipe for almost 3 hours, maybe more, and this is it has not finished. It has not finished. I crafted like 2,300 millibuckets and it's still going. 3,000, 2,300. It's like 16 ingots. I crafted 16 ingots in the morning and it's still not going. 16 ingots. It's enough for a single coil. I'm pretty sure. It's a single coil or two coils. I don't really remember. But that's basically nothing, right? Um, so yeah, this is mainly this stuff. It's getting me annoyed at the pack because I don't feel like these amounts are fine. I don't really feel like it. And you might say, oh, but the DTPF also requires a lot of energy. Yeah, but the DTPF doesn't really require the same amount of time. Most of the recipes here are faster. Like, let's see if I can find one. Okay, there we go. It's this one. Yeah, it takes a lot of power. Oh, actually, I was wrong. This also requires a lot of power and a lot of time. But still, doing it this way, it's much faster than doing this um, for the other stuff, right? The other recipes were taking like, let's see, this takes 100 seconds and it's basically nothing. And the hypogenin not in of itself, it's much takes a lot longer in this. And this is one of the main reasons why I want a fusion, a compact Mark IV. But the compact Mark IV, it's ridiculous. I have here the estimations for the big coils, and yeah, it's yeah, most of this stuff we already have, but it's mostly buffers and stuff. But it's still a lot, right? This is basically our whole stock of raw crystal chips, most of our other resources as well, and even the block in of itself, it's actually this is not that bad as I thought it would be, but it's still pretty annoying to craft. So yeah, UAV, and this is not even the end because there's also the tier 8 water, which I'll say this again, like I've said last time, I don't really know how it works. I just hope it's not really that cancerous, but we'll see. And also, there was another thing that I completely forgot. I think it was in the quest book. Oh, the tesseracts are. I don't really mind the tesseracts, but it's kind of annoying to loop them, or at least it was before. I don't really remember honestly, but yeah. But yeah, it's this stuff. The fuels. The fuels are also pretty annoying. They are not as bad as the hypogen, but I feel like these ones are bad as well. Mostly just because of the time again. They don't really require that much energy overall. But yeah, these recipes are very time consuming as well. This one is not so bad because it's actually ZPM, so you can overclock this like 2 or 3 times to make this not so bad. But it still takes a long time. And of course, this basically comes back to energy, which is basically the reason why I'm upgrading the Nakuda line right now. We'll be starting to use the Nakuda reactors pretty soon. Basically, when I get this set up, I'll be, I won't say switching, but we'll start running some Nakuda fuel. I really want to get the Nakuda the 3, so we'll be getting that as soon as possible. And I think yeah, that's mainly it, because right now we are basically stretching our power to its capacity. We cannot really run anything really for a big amount of time because our power will start to drop. Um, so yeah, we need to upgrade our power, and most of these problems really stem from the long recipes time for this isn't really about the power because it just uses a single amp of UHV. This one is really not that bad. Yeah, the Dragon Blood, I think it's the worst offender of all. I don't really get why it takes so long. I don't feel like it's even necessary for it to take so long. But yeah, if I feel like this is taking too much, I'll cheat I'll cheat this stuff again. Which, to be honest, I might just do either way because otherwise it will be ridiculous. But again, I'm not really doing magic mods, so I don't really care about cheating this stuff. I feel like this time, the this time here, this is a much more bearable recipe. I don't really see the need for this recipe to be this, right? For me, it doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, I think that this is all really I wanted to say. Pretty ranty, and you might say, oh, this is because your base infrastructure is shit, or you might not have enough power, and it's shit because of that. But I just feel like it's incredibly unnecessary to have these long recipe times. You might see that as you see fit, but yeah, it's just time for the sake of time. I don't feel like it's a good gameplay mechanic. I've said this a million times. I'm not really seeing this getting changed anytime soon, but unfortunately, we'll have to deal with this for now. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to say today. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and hope to see you guys next time for hopefully a cooler video with more stuff to show. And yeah, bye bye.